Then you go to battle Kieran and he only has minor legendaries? What the fuck?
Also,
imagine they did that though.
Also, I don't know if you saw like earlier brought up the whole, people think she's the daughter of Clay. It is basically like that is basically confirmed, because if you do like clubhouse shit, and I don't remember brought this up before, I think she says that she's from like the same town that like Clay is from. So
it is all but confirmed because of everything.
Just like how the dragon guy, he basically is the grandson of like Drayden, because if you get like, again, you do clubhouse shit and invite the Elite Four dragon member, he talks about the one kid's grandfather. So again, it is like both basically are the same. They both basically are all but confirmed.
Excadree. Dree. It was a hidden ability drill.
Yes, the inferior one.
Okay,
I say inferior one, but it's one of those in the cases specifically. Excadrill Moldbreaker is good, because if you have Ironhead, you can tell a Mimikyu no, and if you and if you're in singles and using it to set up hazards, you can set all the hazards in front of Hatterene, and then tell it no.
Well, also just ignoring other important abilities.
Yes.
Remember, Moldbreaker breaks unaware.
Yes.
Meaning Moldbreaker Excadrill can set up Swords Dance and Quagsire will actually fill it.
Yes.
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
Yeah, so it does have uses.
The better way to explain it...
It's just, as shown with, this being a rain team, I generally prefer, like, weather-based abilities.
Sand! Oh, god damn it.
Ooh, item.
Light screen. I'm trying to talk and it turned into word vomit. Excadrill can be really fast in the sand because its base speed is 88. And I will never deny that Sand Rush is really good, but understanding what Moldbreaker does made me realize, this is actually quite good as a utility thing, because what you lose in speed, you make up for in nonsense. Because Moldbreaker breaks through abilities that prevent stuff. They have Levitate, you can hit them with ground moves. Disguise, you go through it. Magic Bounce, didn't see it. Unaware? Ah.
Well, it's one of those they would kind of
have to, yes.
And I guess based on your... based on your bubble, you're going
Sand is super useful for being fast as fuck, but Moldbreaker is...
Yeah, I just love Slowpoke. Are you gonna have, like, nothing but Slowpoke? Or are you gonna have all the different forms? Oh, yeah, I guess it's... Let's see, is it 2 or 4? Oh, just these 2.
It's the Galar versions.
I was expecting it to be the Galar and then the regular.
Yeah, I know.
So we ain't making that mistake twice. Or do I do the big funny? And this will probably be infinitely more damage.
Oh, this will be infinitely more damage. Quick Draw McGraw over here.
That ability is bullshit.
Yes. Yes, it is.
That ability is stupid.
Yes. Yes, it is. Especially because it stacks with a Quick Claw, and you basically pretty much have a one... Wrong target, bud.
Actually, no, that was the poison move that...
Yes, but the toxicity is infinitely more threatening.
Yes. Because like, that is a very big number right there. Oh no!
Don't go into the light!
No, Goo! Don't go into the light!
That trainer. Oh, Scald. Covers.
What did Carbos do?
It's a vitamin.
Which of the stats was it?
Special defense, I think?
Oh, funny. Because the slow, like, you know, the slow poke and shit are everywhere.
I could be mistaken about it. It's one of the vitamins. I just never remember the stats super easy, except iron is physical defense, and that's very easy to remember.
Because it's iron.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes. Last time, near the end of the other recording, I was like on and off, just using this to burn some bridges. But like, people bitch about Urshifu being too powerful, and to kind of bring that back for 5 minutes more coherently. Urshifu breaking Protect, I feel, is a necessary evil, and if you don't like Urshifu, you rely way too much on Protect. And that really does feel like something no one wants to admit, because I will be...
The hell is...
Oh, it's a deerling.
Oh.
It's a grass deerling. But it's a grass deerling standing in a big plant. Hold on. I can side tangent for 5 seconds. That Pokemon? And it's funny that they brought it back in this specific DLC. In the Black and White games, that
regular Deerling was in the regular game, because there's that one section that's like perpetually the fall, and you could find the Deerling there, so I think it might have actually
what I'm more pointing out is by bringing that thing back in a biome setting, they basically split them across the dome, because that Pokemon
Wait, I think there's that trainer I was thinking of.
It changes look based on climate.
Yeah, double battles.
So you found the...
Well, that's why before I fight them, because I'm not going to fly over there because, you know, I don't have a fly point, but there's that... I don't remember where it is on the map. Oh, I believe it's right here, because this area is that, like, bottom area. I remember people finding the fall version of the Deerling.
I'm just pointing out that this splits them across the biome.
Yeah.
That they were basically
okay, like, again, serious trainer, and you say double battles. If you're gonna have a double battle, then you have to have a strategy. Like, what the fuck is this? Because they were like double battles, and like after I, you know.
Let's look at their Pokemon and see if we can.
Perhaps kind.
Oh, this guy. Oh, someone who. I know what this guy's strategy is. That one person who wasn't allowed to talk about things was allowed to talk about this.
What the hell?
Rapska gets telepathy.
Oh.
That Flygon spams ranged like hit-alls. So we're just going to prevent that from ever happening.
Yes.
Telepathy makes it so that spread moves that hit your ally are effectively ignored, so Flygon could click Earthquake and the Rapska would be immune to it.
Yeah, fun.
That matches the description of the one guy. Alma. And Torkoal.
I swear. I swear. Good. Just what to say there. Now, I guess Dragon pulled you and... Not because Alma is fat, might live. Huh.
It has a lot of HP.
Yes, that's why I said it might live. It's one of those I was expecting it to maybe live at very low red.
Go back to some rambly points. But
Hmm.
I'm going to assume that was the one battle the guy was allowed to talk about.
Probably, because they're, like... That type of thing makes sense given...
Yes, it's a telepathy set, so you basically have the game spam Earthquake and it ignores the Rapska. And that is a actual decent double battle strategy. Because the idea is you don't hurt your team. And you just spam spread moves.
Mm-hmm.
But a good, like, king in the armor of spread damage is Wide Guard.
Yeah, okay, so if I'm going to use some of these apples, okay,
You can do it.
you have power gem, that's good.
And you can do the thing.
What?
Shell Smash!
Ah,
If you play that off right.
okay, yeah, power. And then I guess let's give you cosmic power at that point. Fortunately, don't really have any good flying moves, but you didn't get any good, like,
Flying moves anyway.
Any good special flying moves anyway.
Yes.
You know, the funny thing is, Excadrill having Earthquake and the
You could actually...
Meteor being...
Yes. We were talking about double strategies.
Guess I'll just do Metal Claw right now to have something.
You could do my old idea and be a dick.
To...
Replace Swords Dance with Home Claws and get an accuracy buff to run inaccurate moves like Rock Slide. And you could do Metal Claw because it is inaccurate. Earthquake for spread.
Metal Claw also has that chance of raising...
Yeah. Rock Slide. There we go. Yeah, baby. This is how we do it.
Again, you have Crunch, so that's... Yeah, that's good. That's too low. Yeah, I guess I have to get rid of Focus Pun. Keep it as that for now. You unfortunately, via level up, don't really... lowers defend. I just get refaced and lower speed.
It's a harsh drop. That's actually good. Crowd control.
Then I did 4 Polygon. Was the Golurk the last one?
What?
I said because knowing from your footage that the 3 fights.
You called the cup, the Golurk, and the coughing.
Okay, so Golurk is the last one then, and of course it has Clots. God damn it! Well, at least you have Earthquake. don't really know what else. Actually, wait. Here, the slime. You're a fat fuck. And don't really have a good fighting move, so I guess we'll just leave it. Just leave it at that then.
The thing is, yep. So you should be good with just those 4 because how the game works.
Each one only has
2 Pokemon. Because they're forcing you to fight with things you caught.
If I come up just...
And Fox the Goodra.
If I come up just short, I can rotate items onto them for a minute. Well,
this should be fun.
Well, I say that, but before this, I am going to check to see do I actually have a power herb by pure happenstance. The answer is probably no, but it's one of those you never know type of moment, so I might as well go check. Yeah, I thought so.
Yes.
I'm not going to go waste time buying that.
This should be fine. That Excadrill thing would actually be...
Yeah, it's the like... That's actually going to be a strategy that can carry if it were...
You didn't start the challenge! It's right there!
Okay. That's what I was looking for. I was like, where was the front desk?
You walked past it, you balloon. If you go, take that filth with you, Mr. Krabs. That's no way to talk about Squidward. Oh, it's a bag of garbage. He means this filth, you balloon. My challenge is, we battle naked. You just wanted to look at my naked body. No, I'm quite serious. He starts stripping. It's fucking cold out here if you can beat me without clothes on in a tundra. Like, it seems perverted, but then it's like this actual...
Oh, it's like how Gray and Fairy Tail doesn't wear a shirt to train in ice magic.
Yeah.
I think that was like the explanation for that. Though because it's Fairy Tail, whatever explanation they give is probably bullshit. Hey, you can only use this technique every, like, 100 years. Bitch proceeds to, I believe, spam it that entire fight. Or something like that. I don't know. I've never seen or read Fairy Tail. I've just seen people bitch about it.
Basically. Cool customer. Ice, ice, baby. Yeah, that's just raw dog it. Booyah, okay.
Oh shit. Haha!
Ah, bitch. The thing is, because of what you've done, the Excadrill is faster.
Yes.
So you just do damage and do more damage. Because if you do spread damage like Earthquake and your partner is a falling type, you can't hit your partner. Carson actually implemented a fun, simple double strategy. That's a well-known double strategy. It's why back in the day, a common doubles pairing was Garchomp Zapdos. What are you doing?
I was going to problem.
What?
I was going to heal the Excadrill.
Don't go to the healing machine. Just walk down the... It's like...
One while I'm in the menu.
You have plenty of items, but just heal for free, like I did. Just walk down the stairs. It doesn't void the challenge. It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So, anyway, what is your opinion on weather abilities versus more standard and widespread generic abilities? Because I basically had an argument in a stream not too long ago where they basically said that Excadrill is better with an ability like Mold Breaker because Mold Breaker effectively always works, whereas an ability like Sand Rush needs the sand in order to function. So therefore Sand Rush is bad and therefore weather abilities are bad, and that you should generally run more generic and widespread abilities that have a lot more generic use cases because you're less lampooned into a single idea. But I feel like that person missed the point, because weather abilities and stuff, while they are a little bit situational, you can build a team around a weather and that functions, and I think that's fine. I'm not saying an ability like Mold Breaker is bad, but I do feel like that person tunnel visioned into very generic team building where their entire ideology is a little bit flawed because they were focused on the fact that an ability like Sand Rush needs a sandstorm in order to function. So therefore it's bad because if you don't have a sandstorm, you don't have an ability. But I find that funny because Mold Breaker is also technically the same. It breaks other abilities, but if there's no ability to break, you don't have an ability, and not every Pokemon you fight will basically have an ability that you can break. So Mold Breaker is also as good as it is bad, and most abilities are. Let's be real here. If we're going to be assholes, we could take some of the best abilities in Pokemon and make dumb arguments of when they're not useful. Oh, Intimidate is only useful if you drop attack. If a Pokemon is not using attack, you have no ability. Do you see how stupid that sounds? I'm not saying Mold Breaker is bad, but Sand Rush is fine. And if you build a team around Sand Rush makes sense because you're building a team around the weather, and they kind of had to lampshade and say, oh, of course, if you're building a weather team, then the ability is okay, but it's like, if I'm using Sand Rush and I'm not using it on a sand team, I'm either fucking mental or I'm trying to counter some oddly specific thing, like, oh, I'm going to bring Sand Rush Excadrill, because I know Sand Rush Excadrill, if you set up your sand, because there's some sand setting Pokemon that's super popular right now. You fool, you activated my trap card. It's like, that can happen, but if I'm using it, I'm probably using sand. Yes, more generically widespread abilities with a lot more use cases can be fine, but that doesn't mean weather is bad. This person tunnel visioned into a weird mindset, and I will keep calling it weird. You know who you are. I'm not trying to inherently make fun of you, but your mindset confuses me. I'm going to quickly ramble about that and then end this question off. Like, you tell me weather is bad because it's situational unless you're using weather as a playstyle, but then you turn around and say that you prefer teams that are not situational, where you would rather run abilities that basically have a bit more widespread use, because in your mind, you're more likely going to see Mold Breaker do something versus Sandrush. Even though if I'm using Sandrush, it's probably on a team that sets Sand. Why would I run Sandrush without that? Generically, in a casual playthrough, you actually have a point, but if we're talking about competitive teams, your point makes no sense. In a casual playthrough, I understand your point more, but Excadrill's hidden ability is basically Mold Breaker, so you generally won't get that in a normal playthrough anyway. So your point is kind of bizarre, and even you said you were building some competitive teams, or at least trying to make slightly better Pokemon by doing IV breeding and stuff. So even you acknowledge you're dipping slightly into the base concepts of competitive. And yet weather is bad because you need weather, but if you're using a weather ability and you don't have the weather it functions with, you're insane. If I'm using Sandrush, of course I'm setting the sand. Also, in general, I feel like Excadrill is a funny example because Sandrush and Mold Breaker, in my mind, serve entirely different roles on a team. Sandrush makes you fast, making you a sweeper, letting you outspeed stuff, meaning you go before things, whereas Mold Breaker makes you more of a utility Pokemon that is able to bypass problematic abilities at the cost of being fast, but by giving up being fast, you're able to hit a lot of Pokemon. And I think Mold Breaker sets function really good with setup, because you can set up and bypass a lot of abilities, like I said, unaware. So I think Mold Breaker is good. I will never say Mold Breaker is bad, but Sandrush, in my mind, serves a different purpose because Sandrush makes you fast. So, in my mind, Sandrush is entirely focused on being fast, whereas Mold Breaker is focused on breaking down abilities that might otherwise hinder you, like Levitate, Disguise, Unaware, other abilities depending on what you're doing, because Excadrill can actually be a good wall breaking hazard setter in singles because you can basically bypass Magic Bounce. So there's that. Anyway, I rambled a little bit too long. You can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments, or you can leave them on social media. All of my social media links, as well as my Discord links, are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you subscribe to the channel, and if you follow me on social media, that really helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope I will see you all next time. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope I will see you all next time. So, as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later.